So today we're going to be working on some odds and ends projects, and the first one is this furnace thing. I actually already finished this. I just want to show you how it works, and then we'll get on to the other projects like the gold farm, and actually maybe even making a light block today for our data pack, which would be pretty cool. But I made a splitter here for the furnaces. It used to just be that you had to directly like put in sand into the furnace to fill it up, but now I have a splitter, so I can just put whatever I need in here, and I can put lots of stuff in here, and then it just queues it up, and you can see it's just plopping it right in each of these furnaces. So because it's going to take a lot of thought, I figured we'd start with the light block at the beginning of the episode, and maybe we'll get it figured out by the end. So in Minecraft, there's this block called light. It's pretty cool. It's literally a light block. Like there's nothing else to it. It's just light. And the coolest part about it is if you look over here on the right side, see how it says level 15? That's the light level. And if we right click it with another light block, it doesn't work if you can't even see the hitbox if you have something else selected. But if you have a light block, you can adjust the light level. Like, is that bonkers or what? That is so cool. Like, if you're a map maker, you can put this block like anywhere, you know? Or if you're trying to decorate your base, but you don't want torches everywhere, like this ugly room, then you're gonna want like a light block, right? But in command block survival, it's very important that we have a trade-off. And so that's one of the things I want to figure out is like, what would be a fair recipe for this light block? So the idea is, as we're going throughout the episode, I want to keep my eye out for blocks that have similar features to the light block. So it could be like other light blocks, like lantern or campfire. And then what we want to do is sort of look at like what recipes these things use. Like this uses iron and a torch, and this uses coal. So there's already some similar patterns there. And then we'll try and mimic some of the patterns. And that way we'll kind of keep the whole Minecraft vibe. And so the recipe won't feel too out of place. And hopefully we'll be able to find a fair one too. All right, so the first like physical project that I want to work on is the gold farm. So I've already started the gold farm. I started it quite a while ago actually, and I just haven't put it into production, so to speak, yet. It's not super secure right now. We really need a roof over it, and we also just need to break all the slabs everywhere. But basically, it's like your average ordinary piglin farm. You just have a turtle egg there, and for whatever monstrous reason, they really want to step on the turtle eggs. Maybe it's because of the cracking sound they make. It's somewhat satisfying. So the piglins get drawn to it, and then they fall down in this pit over here. Which, if you have been following along in this series very long, you probably know that that is the wither skeleton farm down there. So we literally just put the piglin farm on top of the wither skeleton farm. So I don't know if there's going to be like issues with spawning rates or anything, but that's what we're going to find out today. It'd be really nice if we had like a more constant source of gold, because our last gold farm has been turned into a copper farm. Literally, they updated drowned drops so that they're copper instead of gold now. It's kind of a bummer. Now, while the spawn rates may suffer, the one huge bonus... Oh! Garbage. Oh, I did it. I broke another one. Is we don't have to slab everything up again. Literally, it just uses all the same slabs as the wither farm. And, like, that takes hours. It takes hours of, like, days. You know? Like, just... you gotta put on a movie or something and go slab, because it's just gonna take forever. Oh, another weird thing about piglins, they don't really pathfind well on magma blocks. I think it's because they don't want to go to magma blocks. So we have this stone block here. I believe, if I remember correctly, when I was testing this before, I believe they need that to be able to figure out where the entrance is. We will see. We'll get some piglins spawning here. See what happens. Oh, we got some already. Perfect. So you'll notice one of the great things about this farm is that the piglins immediately pathfind toward the turtle egg. It's practically instant. Well, this is why we're working on it. I thought it was pretty much done, but clearly there's... Maybe they can't see the path. The only wood I have on me is warped stems. I guess we can make a trapdoor from that. That actually reminds me of one of the other things I wanted to do. I wanted to try and set up like a manual farm, but like a bigger manual farm for those things. Like the warped stems and the... Oh, wait, what? Okay, so... Now they will immediately pathfind, right? Why are you not immediately pathfinding? Is it because you're on the magma blocks? Are they out of sight range of it? Or do I really just need to have no blocks above it? Huh, he's coming over here now. But he's not. Oh. Okay, apparently it's a big deal to not have a block there, I guess. Interesting. Oh, we probably need item filters. That's pretty easy to set up. Oh, wow. That was quick. Oh, that's really quick. They went straight for it this time. Okay. That's the key. Problem solved. We didn't even need this thing. We probably didn't even need that trapdoor too, I bet. Cool. Oh, it's working. It is working. And currently, if I can click on this, the gold nuggets and rotten flesh are going to this last chest here. Also, apparently hay bales are going here. That must be left over. Whoa. Okay, that's a lot of coal. We might want to bring some of that back for the smelter that we had. But yeah, so now we should be able to get piglins and wither skeletons here, which means that this is an amazing spot to AFK. We'll want to set up some item filters for the gold nuggets, though. All right, so I moved the excess chest. Oh, there's a piglin. Move the excess chest over to the other side. So we got this area cleared out, and now the hopper chain goes all the way around over to there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chuck some items in just to make sure everything is working. Oh, that stupid fence gate. There we go. It's supposed to be there so that like we don't accidentally pick up items while we're like farming stuff, because that's super annoying. But it makes it really hard to throw the items back over. Oh, look at that. First try. Cool. Usually something goes wrong there, so yeah, it's kind of nice. And then all these swords should end up in the excess chest. So the last thing we need to do is just put in trapdoor here. It doesn't match, but it's functional. Function, yes. All right, so the gold farm's up and running. That means we can get on to our next challenge, which is how do we farm these dumb things? So this is the current setup. Basically, there's just a thing here that lets me farm pretty easily, like the shrooms, like the starters. As you can see, like the rest of the farm, it's not very efficient. Stuff gets stuck in the back all the time. Anyway, so once we get the fungus, and we plant it in here, and we grow it. And the idea here is that these scaffolding block like a lot of the extra fungus growth, which obviously it doesn't prevent all of it, but it does prevent a lot of it. So we get mostly just the logs. But it's very annoying to do this like one by one. It's very tedious. Not to mention we only get like one shroom light at a time. So it's just like, we need a better way to do this. So I don't really have the gunpowder to do like a TNT farm where you drop the TNT on the fungus. So we are gonna do something more manual, but also bigger than our current setup. So we'll need a bunch of this grass, the Nylium. Actually, you know what? This area might not be tall enough. Those fungi can grow up to 27 blocks, I think it is, or around there. So we need somewhere that has a higher ceiling, like over here. Oh, this is not very much higher. Oh, that's a high ceiling. So I've had another idea for the light block. You may not know this, but there's another block in Minecraft called the structure void block. It's mostly used with structure blocks, and it helps you like make structures that you can save. But the structure void block also has no hitbox. So I was wondering if maybe we could use that in the recipe of the light block. So like maybe like a structure void block plus some light thing. The thing is, if we do use that, here, let me show you the structure void block, by the way. Void. So this is the structure void block. It's like it's like a tiny little block. And you can't like see it at all. Oh no, I lost it. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I don't know. We don't have a great recipe for the structure void block currently, so if we did use that to make the light block, then we would need to get a recipe for the structure void, which, Okay, I think the field is pretty much done. So the idea is basically this. We're just gonna pretty much spam this with these fungi. I don't know what pattern is best. This is the pattern I'm starting with. We can change it later. But yeah, I recently made or upgraded the ground-breaking hoe that we have. Great name. Upgraded it to efficiency 5. So I'm hoping we can just like, you know, destroy all the the fungus blocks. Maybe, because we do still need a lot of fungus for. Wait, how did I get off? Oh, I see. We still do need a lot of fungus for like our nether hub area. So we don't want to just only get the logs. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is probably going to be awful. Oh, I severely underestimated the bone meal required to do this. It's not even half the field full. All right, so we'll give this a test and see if it's even like quickly breakable. Because if this takes a really long time to break, this isn't going to be a feasible way to farm. Unless, well, let's just try breaking this first. Like, oh, that's already instant. Because I was going to say we have a haste beacon actually at back at our base, but this is already instant. Oh yes, this is what I was hoping for. Efficiency 5 on the unbreaking hoe. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, and then it'll just leave the logs everywhere. And then those are pretty easy to break. And we'll just do that afterwards. It's these fungus that's the warped, what are these called? Warped warp blocks. Those are the real problem. And we have just solved it. So, our haul was a row of warped warp blocks. That's pretty great. And then almost 2 stacks of the logs. And then like, what, a quarter stack? Almost a half a stack of shroom lights, which is not amazing, but we didn't even fill up the whole area. So this method has some promise. So I do like having this set up like really close to the center of the nether hub. So I think rather than move it, we're going to copy it. So let's just try and remember this setup. So there's a piston. It moves the observers facing each other, which starts a clock. And then See if we can get it to stop. Yeah. Just sticky piston, 5 of these, and then space. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we got 5. So then now we need to make a space here. And also behind, so that the slime blocks do not catch anything. Place the slime blocks. Then, yeah. Then we have the final sticky piston here. Block. A lever. And there we go. Easy peasy. Alright, and now we can stock up on the fungi. Then we place the fungi. Bam. 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 There we go. Now we can bone meal everything. It is glorious. Oh, look at how tall that one grew. It's a giant block of fungus. Excellent. Just what we needed. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. All right, this is 100% the way to do it. This is like working really well. I'm just like I'm just like mowing through all this. One thing I did discover is you really want to break the logs while you're up at this height, because it's really hard to like get back up here once, like even this tree that's like humongously giant. Like this is what slows you down, you know, is like trying to build up and then break the stuff that's at the top. It's very satisfying picking up all the items. So you remember how many blocks we had before, right? We had like 2 stacks. And we've already gotten like 4 stacks of logs, not to mention like 4 rows of warped stems. So this is definitely like the bulk amounts that I wanted. And it's not that much of a pain to farm, so that's a big win. I'm really happy with this. And we can set up a red farm over there if we need to, honestly. But mostly I've been using the blue stuff, so I wanted to get the blue stuff set up, and we did it. Awesome. Oh my goodness, look at how much that is. That is a lot. So back to the light block recipe. You know how we were stuck on the structure blocks, or the structure void blocks? I had an idea. What if we make structure void blocks using like containers? So if we have this bowl, right, there's an empty space. And so that empty space gives us a structure void. Same thing for like a bucket. This is all just like ideas right now. It's pretty expensive with a bucket. I think we can do it with glass bottles as well. Yep. Okay, so that's kind of my idea right now for structure voids, because structure voids are not very powerful. They don't give us any advantages really, except for their use in structure blocks, and that's pretty limited. Oh, by the way, you might be noticing this outline that I have. I updated the command block survival data pack, and it is way cooler and way more awesome. In fact, if I hold like command blocks, it used to be that I would go into creative mode, but now I can actually run around without being in creative mode, and if I want to place it, I just shift, and then boom, I'm back in normal. So I'm like in creative mode for the least amount of time possible, and there's this super cool breaking animation where I can see like, oh, I'm gonna break the torch, or oh, I'm gonna break the command block. So it's been highly updated. Anyway, so yeah, structure blocks or structure voids I think are okay to be super cheap. And then for the light block, I was thinking just something simple. So it would have to be a block that has at least light level 15, because those light blocks can go up to there. And I was thinking the structure void. Wait, the recipe is broken. Reloading. Data pack. You didn't see anything. Look at that. Wow, perfect. So it because the light block can get to level 15, I think that it has to be a block that can get to level 15. So for example, torches are actually only light level 14, so they wouldn't work. But there is kind of a dilemma still. So if we make, let's say we make a light block. Actually, let's make 2. We can still change the light level. And like if we were to put a glowstone down, we can't change the light level of that. So there should be an additional piece in this recipe that sort of indicates like intuitively to the player, whoever's making the recipe, that you can change the light level. And I was thinking we could maybe go with redstone, just like a piece of redstone maybe might make sense. The other thing we could do is have like a lever or a button. I'm not super decided on that. We could also do a comparator because comparators have like changing length signals, but then it would be like 3 things that we have to craft. And that can kind of get annoying. Oh, I put away the, but like if it was, let's say that's glowstone. So a comparator void, like we have to craft this, we would have to craft the glowstone and we'd have to craft the comparator. So I don't know if those extra steps are good. It might be fine to just go with redstone dust because generally redstone can alter blocks to some extent. You know, like a redstone lamp, it can turn it on and off. So while I figure out the light block dilemma of what to include in the recipe, we're going to do one more thing this episode, and that is make a wind chime. All right. So I'm thinking this is probably where we want to put the wind chime just because of the things that it's close to. It's close to that, you know, so we could hear it if we're inside the farm there. We could hear it over here. Maybe if we're ever working on the farm or at these chests. Okay, so. Oh, wow. This part of the island is really old. You can tell because I filled in the hole with cobblestone. This was probably a creeper explosion. So the gist of it is pretty simple. Basically, you have a minecart entity, like a slime there, and you have the snow golem here. And then you just make sure that the things that are, the blocks that are nearby are amethyst, so if it hits anything, then it makes that pleasant little chime sound. I always forget that minecarts have to be moving to pick up stuff. So what we'll do is put another rail and boom, there we go. Just to kind of prevent the entity from accidentally rolling or getting pushed or some weird thing, I have this here. And also, it makes it so that sometimes the snowball doesn't hit, which can create a nice like variety of when the tune plays. So, oh wait, let's put a block here. We don't want the snow golem hopping out. Yeah, so you can hear how sometimes he misses. Anyway, so that has a decent randomness to it. Then we just break these. You can see that this is really easy to make and like totally doable in survival. Now, because we're in command block survival, there are some cooler things that we can do to beef this up a little bit. We can do this. Stop sound entity snow golem dot shoot. So what that is going to do, you can probably already guess. See, you can't hear the snowball anymore. So when he misses, it's just totally quiet, which is really cool. All right, so to wrap things up, the light block recipe, and by extension, the structure void recipe. So far, I'm really happy with the structure void recipe, but I think that it does need at least redstone, and I think that redstone is probably good enough for the light block. There we go. Just had to reload the world. So I think that having redstone dust gives it kind of like, it makes sense why you can change it. So that way when you make a light block, it kind of feels like there's some technology embedded in it. And then also the structure void is like, that's why there's no hitbox. So you have like whatever light block you want, and then you have the thing that makes it have no hitbox, and then you have some redstone dust, and it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then I was thinking about it, and there's another block in the game that could actually use some of the logic that we just applied to the light block. And that's the barrier block. Now the barrier block's interesting because it actually has a hitbox, and it is totally unbreakable. Like the wither can't even break it. It's basically bedrock that you can't see. So I was thinking, well, what if we kind of apply the same logic that we're doing with the the light block here? So it's like, okay, barrier block, we could give it a structure void, but maybe it needs something more. There's this thing called the end crystal. And this kind of gives the dragon a protective shield. You can kind of see it there. Like it's healing the dragon, and it's kind of like putting a barrier around it. You see where I'm going with this? So I was thinking maybe we could have a recipe that does end crystal, and you surround it with structure voids. Ta-da! Barrier. So that would give us a recipe for the 3 items here that like I did not have a really good recipe for. And I think that the logic that we put into the light block helped us discover some logic for like the structure void, like, you know, using empty bottles, and like the barrier, you know, using a protective thing like around it. So I'm pretty happy with those recipes, honestly. And I think I'll probably include those in my next release of the command block data pack, not to mention all the other cool things that go along with it. Now that I have a recipe, oh man. Oh dude, it's just everything's gonna be lit up and there's gonna be no torches anywhere. Oh, that'd be crazy. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Later, later.